Don't forget that a switch always has power. Even in your house, a switch always has power. It's until the moment that you turn it on, that you flick the switch, that it runs electricity to the light fixture. But the switch will always have power. That's why they call it constant power. So be prepared, because this is one of my longer videos, but it's worth every minute. It's Frank Baltier's with the DIY series, How to Build Your Food Truck. And on this episode, we're going to be firing up this exhaust hood. I'm going to show you guys how we did everything from the roof line up and how we power it on. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, because everything that you guys see me do, it's usually like, boom, I do it and I upload it, do it, upload it, do it, upload it, because we're doing a 7x16 trailer. It was an empty trailer and we're going to convert it into a mobile kitchen on wheels, and then we're going to sell it. So we are completing the exhaust fan installation, the exterior part, which is like the little motor, the little house that you guys see sticking up. There you go, so you guys can get a better picture. That's what it is right there. And if this is your first time joining the channel, on the previous videos I've covered how we're converting a empty 7x16 trailer and we're making it into a mobile food truck or trailer on wheels, or a mobile kitchen on wheels. I'm Frank Baltier's, and the last steps with the exhaust hood are right here. We got this liquid tight penetrating right in through the roof, right there somewhere. You guys can see it. Where are you? There it is. So it's coming in right there, and what we're going to use, we have to connect it here to they call it a disconnect or a safety disconnect right on top, and it's like an on-off switch. It's usually always on, but we have to connect it right there. And then these are the wires that go into it. It's actually just one wire that goes into it. I ran a second one as an extra. Being an electrician for a long time, I have seen wires break. They get hot, they deteriorate, and it's always nice to have an extra wire. I have learned that one the hard way, and it's always a great thing when you have something extra and you can just boop, pop it right in instead of running new wire, because once everything's up and running, it's a lot harder to run it than it is now when it's not everything 100% complete. So with that, let me show you guys what we're doing here. We're almost complete with this the exhaust outside, and then we're gonna turn it on and see if it actually works and sucks the fumes from the inside out. Okay, so to give you the steps on how to end it, how to finalize it, on the back part of this video, I'm going to add everything that I've done. Is we have this 1/2 inch liquid tight right here with a 1/2 inch liquid tight connector, and this box actually, it has a 3/4 knockout. What that means is you need to buy a reducing washer. So this takes a 3/4 and makes it 1/2 inch, and that way that 1/2 inch will fit right in there, nice and snug and weather tight. So let's connect that in, and then you're going to connect that like if it's a switch, because at the bottom I'm going to show you guys how to connect it. Just know that this needs to be connected like a switch, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what that means once we control the bottom, and then you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. But first, we're going to open up this up right here, and then you guys can see what's in there. Drop the screws. Right in there, it's just a switch, like a toggle switch. It's an on off. It's mostly like a safety switch, and 100% of the time it's always going to be on, because you're not going to climb up here that often and turn it off and turn it on. So that's why I'm telling you, wire it as a switch. And when I go downstairs and show you guys how to wire it, leave this on, and then you're going to wire it right in to the terminals that are right there. And how you install the flex connector right there, the liquid tight connector, is a 2-piece connector. So you take one part and you slide it down the liquid tight, and then the other one you attach it right there to the outdoor box, and then this wire gets fed in right into that hole right there, and then that butts up right into it, that little connector, wherever you are, right there, and then they twist together and then they connect. That's pretty much how they do it. So then there you go, you see it locks right into there, and then you take this other piece and then you twist it right on. Kind of hard to do without 2 hands, but that's kind of the gist. So you take that part, you stick it in there, and then you twist this on, and then that gives you your weatherproof connection right on there on the liquid tight. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm wiring this up right here. Don't forget, I'm wiring this up exactly how, ooh, got so bright, exactly how you would wire a fixture or like a light or anything like that. The reason why I'm going to show you guys when I install the switch down at the bottom, it'll all make sense. But just know that this one is going to get installed like a light fixture. So you're going to have your switch leg, and I like to use always like an off color that's not like a common constant power. Typically there's no like rule, as long as you know, but black, blue is usually a constant power color, sometimes red, but in this case this is going to be our switch leg. A switch leg means that when you turn something on, that's going to throw power to it, just like your light at home. So this is going to be a switch leg, so it's going to have a neutral. You guys can see right there, these wires down here are factory installed. So these cables right here, this white and this black wire, came from Hood Mart. So I'm going to connect the red, which is my switch leg, and then I'm going to connect this white right here, and I give it like a little loop-de-doop. That way when you connect it right there, it fits right there perfectly. This one right here, this black cable that came with the other cable, with the cable that I ran, I'm not going to use it because I just like to run extra, but I just capped it off. And then this one is that extra cable that I told you guys about, that is just going to be here literally wrapped in the box. The reason I do it is because it's easier to run the wire now than it is later. Trust me, run it before. It doesn't matter, it's going to cost you an extra couple bucks, literally a couple bucks, but the headache if something were to happen down the road is priceless. So with that, let's finish up this switch wiring, and then let's go downstairs, and then I'm gonna turn this on for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys the best tip I can give you. Don't forget, before you leave the top of the trailer or the truck, make sure that's on. Make sure it's flipped to on. That's just the best tip I can give you on this one, because you don't want to come back up here and be like, it doesn't turn on, and it's just because you forgot to flip on a switch. So that's how it should look when it's all done. It's on the on position. So now let's go hook up the switch that Hood Mart gives you with the exhaust fan, and then we're gonna fire this puppy up. Oh yeah, bonus tip number 2, make sure that you use these, that's what I used on my roof, since my roof is almost the same height as the trailer there, is for like little stepping points, and that way you're not stepping on the aluminum right there. These right here are pretty cool, just like little levers to be able to get out there and do your work right there. All right, so to wrap it up, the last step, let me show you guys what Hood Mart sends you to be able to turn on and turn off the exhaust fan, which is right there. They give you this little box. The terminology, the exact one is motor speed control. That comes with this little cover plate right there, so it has a low to high speed, and then it has the knob to turn it on, to turn it low and turn it high. The reason I was telling you guys to turn it on like a switch, to wire it like a switch, is exactly this reason. So on the control that they give you, it only has 2 wires and the ground, the 2 wires. So that means that one side has to be connected to the constant power, which is your hot. That's going to be your hot wire. And the other side, because it's a switch, almost like a dimmer. If you guys can visualize, like a dimmer, you go from low to high, but you still need to pop the turn it on, right? So it gives you the ability, and that when you turn the knob, that's your dimmer turning on, if that makes sense. The other side, the other wire is going to get connected to the red cable that went upstairs to the roof. And the neutral, so there's my breaker panel, ran the wire right there, and then it's going to stop. It's a little dark. There's 2 wires right there. One goes upstairs and one stays here. The white wire is going to get just connected together right there. It's not going to get connected to this at all. So this is just going to have the black wire, the red wire that goes to the top, and the white wire is just going to get connected together. So let's wire that up, and then it'll turn on. I turned the lights on in here because just a couple seconds ago when I was talking to you guys, I had the power off because I was going to wire up the dial that they give you here for the exhaust fan. I just didn't want to work on it when it was hot. Just a quick recap. Remember, I ran a wire for my panel behind the plywood to this box right here. That's going to be for your exhaust, and that has a constant power, which is a black wire, which we connected to the switch here. Don't forget that a switch always has power. Even in your house, a switch always has power. It's until the moment that you turn it on, that you flick the switch, that it runs electricity to the light fixture. But the switch will always have power. That's why they call it constant power. And then the other one is a switch leg. On here, it doesn't matter what you connect to what. because at the end of the day, one's not going to turn on without the other. So the red is a switch leg that goes to my unit up top. This black wire is what runs to my breaker panel, and the two whites are just going to get connected together. And technically, it should work now. I have not tested it. This is going to be the first time that I test it. So if it doesn't work, you guys will know about it just as much as I do. So let's turn the dial. It's like those old dimmers in the house. There it is right there. So there's the exhaust fan running. There's some leaves in there. Let's turn it off a little bit lower. It has the option to go really low. There were some leaves in there because right now we're in the fall season. So there's some leaves that are falling. So there it is right there. So with that, that's how you wire your exhaust fan to meet health codes, because they do require to have an exhaust fan if you're going to have an open flame. So just know that that's how you wire this bad boy in. So with that, Frank Volunteers with the DIY series, how to build your food truck. Let's go check it out. So that's about it. That's how you do it.